You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, it is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and real quick, I want to talk to you guys about 5 ways that Drew Cain could get out of prison ASAP. I mean, we all know that the ABC soap isn't going to leave him in prison for 3 years. The only way they would leave him in prison is if Cameron Mathison decided that he is done at the show. He's about to hit an anniversary, I think maybe the 2-year mark of when he joined the ABC soap. I think 2 years. At any rate, that anniversary mark generally means that there's going to be some kind of contract renewal talks. Presuming that Cameron Mathison and ABC have worked out a deal for him to stay, that means they need a way to get him out of prison because he is in a relationship with Carly. They're in love. He's got a kid. They can't just leave him in Pentonville. They're not going to keep pulling that set out indefinitely. So we've got 5 ways. Let's talk about them. The first, Tracy Quartermaine could help Drew Cain. She honestly cannot appreciate that a Quartermaine family member is in prison doing time for Carly Corinthos' crime. Tracy hates Carly with a purple passion. She has enough pull among public servants to get Chase his job back, so maybe she has enough pull to help get Drew out of prison early, or get the sentence shortened and get it to where he can serve out the last few months at the lower security facility, Spring Ridge. That would be a good way to take this, and it is completely plausible that Tracy Quartermaine has enough influence to do that. All right, before we dig into our second way to get Drew Cain out of prison, if you have not already, we would love it if you would click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our GH updates. All right, our second idea is that Sonny Corinthos could find a way to help him for 2 reasons. First, as a way to honor his brother Jason, who was Sonny's best friend and loyal enforcer forever until his untimely death that may not turn out to be a death in the end. We'll see. And also because Sonny wants Carly to be happy, even if she's not with him, and Drew makes Carly happy. And Sonny doesn't really have a big problem with her dating Drew. It's one of her least objectionable boyfriends. You know, he hates Jax. He hated Franco, but Drew, he's all right. So remember that the governor of New York gave Sonny a pardon after he escaped from prison and saved the Haunted Star from blowing up. Ironically, later it was blown up, of course, for good. But maybe he could contact this governor. You know, surely Sonny has influence as a mob boss that he could use to get Drew out of prison, or the same thing as Tracy, a shorter sentence, commuted over to Spring Ridge, and then he gets out in just a couple of months. All right, our third idea, and we touched on this with a video earlier today, is about Cyrus Renaud. Maybe Cyrus Renaud tries to help him. Drew keeps defending Cyrus, and Cyrus still has some powerful criminal ties on the outside. Drew is helping to save his life when Cyrus has a heart attack this week. So maybe Cyrus uses his shady connections and help from his lawyer brother, Martin Gray, to help Drew get out earlier. That's also plausible. Stranger things have happened on General Hospital. All right, our fourth idea is that Drew gets early release to do a secret mission for the WSB or the Navy SEAL, something like that. I mean, he still has contacts in the military. He was a highly decorated naval officer, and they could need him for some very sensitive secret operation so the government could commute his sentence if he'll take on this dangerous mission that he may or may not survive. That would certainly be a fun and action-packed way. They could show the mission or not. They could just say he's got to go off and do this dangerous mission, and Cameron Mathison takes a week or 2 off shooting, and then they bring him back. He gets a hero's welcome. He's out of prison. He helped the government or the WSB with whatever mission. That'd be all right. I think that'd be plausible too. All right, before we dig into our last idea for getting Drew Cain out of prison, if you've not, we'd love it if you click subscribe. We'd love it if you click like on this video, and we'd love it if you leave a comment. We love your comments. We read them all, and we appreciate every one of our listeners. All right, so Drew could plausibly, I don't know how plausible this is. This to me is the least favorable approach, least likely idea. But Drew could try the same approach that Sonny did. He could break out of Pentonville, do something heroic, save a bunch of lives, and then get a pardon from the governor. I mean, it is plausible that Drew would break out if he thought Carly's life was at risk, if he thought Scout's life was at risk, like if something was happening that was some overarching threat to Port Charles where everybody he loves is at risk. He would definitely risk a longer sentence to break out and try and foil whatever plot. And if that did happen, and again, this is like the outer limits of what's possible, but they could do some wild extreme story. He breaks out, he saves a bunch of people, he gets a pardon just like Sonny did. We know that soap operas love to repeat plots, and this would definitely be a repeat plot, but it's not totally implausible in the land of General Hospital in Port Charles. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.